that are working. So let me make sure. Oh, Ruben, where's Ruben? Juan, Pamela. We got Lester, Ramona, Irene, Opal, Brian, Caitlin, and Angel. Okay, so we're missing a few folks. Hopefully they'll be able to join us. Let's see. Somebody just joined. Yeah. Hey, there's Ruben. There's Ruben. All right. Well, good morning. I want to say a hearty good morning, and it's such a blessing to be with you all and see you again or hear you again. So I'm going to record this session, just letting you know that we are recording so that our other students can watch this a little bit later on, and make sure that hey there, Caitlin, and make sure that they are up to date. So let me make sure I get my roster again. So I got Ruben and I got Caitlin. Hey there, Ruben, Lester, and I got oh, awesome, awesome.
Hey,
All right,
Ruben, it's good to see you, church member.
Good to see you also, church member. Good to see all of y'all.
It's so good to see you all. My heart is just like leaping. So we are back and getting ready for our next class, which is Introduction to Theological Studies. And some of you are also in the church history course. But let's do this. If you could, so while we are just going through our introduction in the beginning, I just want you all just to take a moment, just about a couple of seconds, and just introduce yourself to the class. Some of you know each other, but we have some new faces as well. So if I could, I'm gonna look on my screen. Can I start with Opal?
Well, you say introduce myself. I'm Opal, and I'm just so glad to be a part of the class again. It's truly a blessing, and I consider the class as my family. It gives me time to communicate and socialize and do some work at the same time to
Right.
continue growing in the Lord.
Thanks, Opal. Ruben, we're gonna go to you next.
Hi, I'm Ruben Burney. Um, as you may have heard, me and Miss Hudgens speaking a moment ago, we are church members. We go to Antioch Baptist Church North. I'm pleased to be here to get this deeper dive into some things that you normally would not get through a regular church Bible study. And I am looking forward to this class and meeting more of my classmates.
Thank you, Ruben. Irene, you want to go next?
Yes, excuse me, I'm Irene Hudgens, and I'm looking forward to this class. I'm excited to see some of the classmates that we had in previous classes and look forward to interacting with all of them again. As Ruben stated, this is information that we would not normally get in a Bible study. So, but this particular class I'm really interested in and to learn more about theology.
Thanks, Irene. And I'm gonna come down here. I have Caitlin. Caitlin, you want to say hey?
Hey you guys, I'm excited to be in this class again. I'm just ready to see what this class has, and how different it is compared to the last one, and to see what we can learn and how we can, use it for our lives.
Thanks, Caitlin. I'm glad to hear from you. And Lester.
Yeah, I'm Lester Goff. I've taken this online class. I've never done this before, so it's sort of an adventure here. But I'm taking the class just to grow spiritually, to build a foundation to grow spiritually. That's my goal here.
Thank you, Lester. And we want to welcome Lester as well. Lester is a new student to our religious studies certificate program. So I'm so thankful to have you with us.
Okay, I'm thankful to be here. Good morning to everybody, by the way.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Ramona.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Ramona Hassan, and I am in the Religious Studies Certificate Program, and I welcome this opportunity to gain more knowledge and information about Christianity and how it impacts not only our lives but the world.
It's real good. Did I get everyone? I think so. All right. Okay, everybody. So today's purpose won't hold you too long. Today's purpose is to do an overview of the class and to just stop and answer any questions that you may have. So give me a moment and I'm going to share our screen. So I'm going to go to our D2L class. And somebody just shout out and let me know that you see our D2L page.
I see it.
Yes.
Super. Okay, everybody do me a favor, go on mute real quick. So, all right, everybody mute your microphones real quick. And then we'll come back and ask some questions. All right, everyone. So on your page, and hopefully your page looks like mine. Sometimes the students say their page looks a little bit different, but if you have any assignments or class meetings, they'll be on this side. So just make sure that you look for your calendar, and I'll have things over there for the calendar if anything is due or we have a class meeting. Excuse me. Right here in the middle is where you'll find your work. Okay, so each week, so I lined out each week, excuse me. So each week will be lined out. So of course we're in week 1, 2, 3, and on down. So we only have 9 weeks in this compressed schedule. One thing that I do want to highlight for you is right at the top of the page is something called syllabus and resources, course syllabus and resources. And if, of course, if you make sure the first thing that you do is look over the syllabus, which we're going to do in just a second. And I also have help there, so resources there. And I'm going to post videos there or any type of extra information that I want you to know. I also posted help when we write our papers in MLA style. This will help you on how to cite information. A little bit later on in the course, excuse me, that's what happens when you drink something and then try to talk. So you start belching. I posted some information regarding one of the theologians that we're going to talk about, and I think you have a paper on a little bit later, is Dr. James Cone, and we're going to talk about theology. But I also have a heart to, when I teach you, I also want us to know about our own theology and Black liberation theology. So I posted that as well as I found a really cool link about some Black theologians, and I already will apologize. Our book doesn't really address them, but I'm gonna address them. So we want to make sure that we have a good wide range of theology. And then on this side, on your right side, or depending on how your class is set up, you're going to see announcements. And I have to say, I will send maybe about 2 or 3 announcements each week. So make sure that you check your announcements and, see what's going on. Maybe I sent an update. Maybe I refreshed the syllabus or something. So just please make sure that you check out any announcements that I have. So now let's do this. Let's go over your syllabus, and I'm going to bring this up here. All right. So we are going to just go through the syllabus and make sure we understand things. And and then I'm going to pause, and then we're going to open up for questions. We're going to, of course, we know that we're online right now with all this COVID stuff, and we are praying. Things going to get better, right? And we keep wearing our masks, get our shots and stuff, and we're going to be able to see each other like we want to. But we will continue on Thursdays at 11 a.m. and have our online class. And if you are not able to make online class, know, at Thursdays at 11. I understand people are working, or also they have children or grandchildren at home during the day. I just sent my son back. He had to go back to school. It just wasn't working. So, so I understand. But if you are not able to make it Thursdays at 11, you can watch the video. So watch the class video. Okay. So that is your responsibility. Make sure you are either here with us on Thursdays, or if work or whatever doesn't permit, you're going to watch the class video. All right, let's talk about your book. And hopefully you can see it in this when I held it up. It's called Introduction to Theology, the third edition. And this particular book, we're going to talk about the book a little bit later, but it's by Owen Thomas and Ellen K. Wandra. So make sure that you pick that up as soon as possible. We will be using it every week. Okay, so I'm gonna scoot down through some of this stuff. It just talks about this, just the stuff that we have to put on, making sure that you have a good computer and all that good stuff and Wi-Fi. If you have a disability, please make sure that you contact our office and counseling and accessibility services, and they will definitely get the proper paperwork and help you, if you need accommodations. Well, I'm not even going over withdrawals because ain't nobody going to withdraw from this class. I need you to stay. And let's move through a little bit and talk about your time commitment. So I suggest that you log into your class about 3 to 4 times a week and spend your time, I would say, about 3 hours a week. And you can space it out. Space out your reading. And I know you have other things to do, but you're reading and you're studying, checking your emails, making sure that you are responding to things throughout the week. Okay. Make sure that when we have something due, students, I teach at this school part-time, but I also teach at another school full-time. And so I'm real big when we have deadlines. And if something is due a particular day, that's when it's due. So I want you to, make sure you get your calendar and you put things in and make sure that you turn things in on time. If it's not turned in on time, it will decrease in your grade by 10 points. And we want to make sure you get your quizzes in on time. And, if something is going on in life, we understand family and sicknesses and things like that. Just please let me know. Okay. Let me keep going down. I know you guys are going to be honest with your work. You're going to do all your work and all that good stuff. So let's get down to how you're going to be graded, and let's look at the calendar. In this class, we're going to, it's like the other class, you're going to have discussion questions, that's 20%. Your theology research paper, that's 20% of your grade. You're going to have a theology video reflection, and that's 20%. And then you'll have some quizzes. That'll be 20% of the overall. And then we're going to have a guest lecture sometime this semester. I will announce it well in advance, and I will probably make that guest lecture in the evening so that everybody can make it. And then your final exam will be 10%. Our class schedule. Well, how does this class run? So we start our weeks on Mondays, and we're going to end our weeks on Sunday nights. So that helps me and you. So you're saying, well, when is this due? It's due on Sunday night. So make sure that makes it easier, but just make sure, don't run to the last minute and try to do it like at 11:50, because it always seems like, the internet acts up around that time. So just make sure we start every week out on Mondays and we end on Sunday night, 11:59. So this week we have, I want you to begin reading your discussion, begin reading your chapter 1, and pay attention to the reading pages that I have for you. We're going to talk a little bit more about theology in just a second, but it can be lengthy. So pay attention to just the pages that I have for to read. Once again, pay attention just to the pages that I have for you to read. Like this week is 1 through 5, pages 1 through 5, and then 16 through 20. So 16 on page 16, you're going to start at organization of theology down at the bottom. And then you're going to go to page 20. And then you're going to do the introduction question. This is for this week. Now listen, y'all, a couple people have not done the introduction. I'm going to show you where it is in just a second. So in week 1, I need you to do that introduction question. And all you're doing is just introducing yourself and answering a couple little questions. But it just lets the school know that you are here and you are present and you're active in the class, because they take a report of every class and they see what students have logged in and what students have not. And even though you're here with me today and, and you didn't log in and participate, they're wondering, what's going on. All right, so anyway, week 2, we're going to talk about chapter 3 and authority. So pay attention to the chapters and the pages, and then you'll have a discussion question. Okay, so I won't go through every week. I think it's kind of self-explanatory. Like in week 4, you're going to have your first quiz, and that will cover, actually, it'll probably cover chapters 1 and 2. Okay, so I'll announce the chapter for you, and you'll have a discussion question. So in week 4, make sure you look at chapter 5 and look at these particular areas that I want you to read. Okay, so and then you'll see your quizzes. I won't go through everything here. Our guest lecture will be on week 7. Your research paper will be due the last week on week 9. So let me just pause real quick, because I know I've been talking a lot in the syllabus. Anybody have any questions so far about the syllabus or the class before I go back and open up a couple things in your class?
I have a question. Is there any way you could put the syllabus in a form that we could copy it?
To copy it?
Yeah, I tried to copy it and it just wouldn't let me copy. I like to keep it, a hard
Okay,
copy.
you can download it. So what you mean, like you want to
Just
save
the
it?
syllabus, just week 1, 2, 3, 4, the work. I tried, but I guess I wasn't doing something right.
Yeah, I downloaded it and printed it off that way.
Oh, you did? Okay.
You download it and it comes through as a PDF.
Yes.
Okay.
Save it as a PDF.
Okay.
Once you download it, or you can print it off.
Okay. That's what I didn't do. I didn't download it. I was trying to hit print. Okay. I'll do that. Thank you.
Yes, download it and save it to your computer. And another thing you can do, Opal, is well, it's not gonna work right here, but if I download it, right, like Irene said, it'll be a document, a PDF on your screen.
Right.
And you can copy, see what I'm trying to do right here, but it's gonna act ugly. You can copy and paste that.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. Copy and paste, it wouldn't let me, so I didn't do anything else. But I will download it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, download it first.
Copy and paste. I just wanted just that section. That's it.
Yes. And if you have any issues, just let me know. But if you download it, you'll have it right there and you can manipulate it. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Good question. Any other questions?
Yes. Could you please elaborate on the video reflection? Is that one that we're going to be creating, or is it something created that we will review and then reflect on?
Good. So you're going to have a video. Actually, you know what? Let's go to it right now. Okay. So hopefully you should see me moving around on the page. And I think that was Ruben. Okay, Ruben, let me do this. I'm gonna back up to week 1 and then I'm gonna come down to that video. Okay, so for those people who haven't done this already, week 1, this is just an introduction, but week 1, I want you to go right here to the introduction form. You gotta do this, y'all. Do it today after you get off and just introduce yourself. Make sure that you tell us about, tell me why you're taking the course or whatever. and respond to some classmates. It just lets the school know that you are here and that you're active in the course. You got to do that today. Okay, so let's come down to what Ruben was talking about. No, it's week 3, I think. Or no, maybe it's week 4. Yes, okay. So in week 4, you see that you don't have a discussion question here. So you're going to focus on your video assignment. So you're going to click on this. And remember we talked earlier about theology and different theologians. So in this assignment, you're going to learn about another type of theology, and it's called Black liberation theology. And you're going to be introduced to a very famous reverend. You may have heard of him, named Reverend Dr. James Cone. And Dr. Cone, in the 1960s, came up with a wonderful book called Black Theology and Black Power. You may have heard of him. And he, in his studies, he is called the father of Black liberation theology, which talks about liberation from injustices, especially, you know, from the government and things like that, for you know, people that have been oppressed. So anyway, you're going to watch, see this video right here of Dr. Cone. So you're going to watch this video. And this is just another supplemental video you can watch. You don't have to watch this, but this was done as a tribute after he died. He died in 2018. Okay, and so anyway, after you watch this video right here, you're going to write a reflection. You're going to reflect on Dr. Cone's meaning of Black liberation theology and your understanding of it. You might agree with it, you might disagree with it, or whatever. And then you're going to say, you know, do you think this is going to work in our world in 2021? And any reflections that you may have, okay? I think you're really going to enjoy learning about Dr. Cone.
Dr. Berry.
Yep.
This is Ramona.
Hey, Ramona.
I just happened to catch on PBS a series that Henry Louis Gates is doing, and it's called The Black Church.
Yeah.
And that's when I first saw information about Dr. Cone. It's a fascinating series. It's fascinating.
It is. Ramona, thank you for saying that, because I'm also going to post, I think I posted it in my church history course. I'll post the link to the videos if anybody wants to watch it, part 1 and part 2 of that PBS special. Thank you, Ramona. How we doing with time? I do want to talk about one thing. Any questions while I want to pull up something real quick. Maybe that didn't work. No question? Okay, so we talked I'm missing something here. We talked last week. Let me stop sharing real quick. We talked not last week, in the forum about theology. You know, that was one of the things that you all were going to look at. Can somebody tell me what they think theology is?
Well, I wrote that it was a systematic study of the Bible, or you could say religion.
Okay.
You told us to do it without knowing the definition, so what I what I did, I didn't look it up. I promise you, I didn't look it up. And then I read what Opal put in. I missed the point. So what I put is, I believe the study of the and practices of Christianity.
Okay. And you're not wrong. I'm gonna share something real quick. See if I can get this on the screen. Somebody give me a shout and let me know you can see my slideshow.
We can see it.
Yeah.
All right. Sometimes I get to doing stuff y'all can't see. Uh-oh. Sorry. Okay. I'm gonna post this for you all later so you can have this. But I want you to see what's right here on the screen. We're not gonna go into, uh-oh. Miss Berry did it again. Hold on. Okay. Look right here on the screen. And we're going to talk about what is theology real quick. Somebody give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you can see that. Okay. Something just happened. I can't see you all, but I'm trusting y'all can see the screen. Okay. All right, so what is theology? So this particular course, I'm going to give you a little warning. It may be a little different. It may be hard to understand. Even as someone who's been through seminary, theology was one of them classes that I was like, what? But it explains all of the whys. It explains the reason why we do the things that we do. It explains the reasons why, certain things are the way they are. I think Ramona said this, the way they are in the world, okay, based on theology. And so if you look at the top, theology attempts to understand and interpret the stories of the Bible. Who is God? What is God? Theology is also an activity or a function. It's what the church does. It's how they express their faith. But the key thing that I want you to get from the reading on page 2 is theology is what we think about God. And so the word theology, if you break it down, theo or theos means God, and ology means study, right? So if we would break those two words apart, we have theo or theos. Sorry. Okay, I've got, this is going to be your lesson for later today, and it's acting up. Okay, so students, can you see?
Yes.
Okay. In theology, this is when we say what we think about God or what we believe about God. Look, we can't study everything about God. That would just be impossible, right? So remember, when somebody says, well, what kind of course are you taking? Theology. What is that? Theos, God, ology, study. The study, break it apart, the study of God. Remember, we can't study everything about God because we just don't know, right? But it is what we are doing, or what theology attempts to do, is say, how do we think about God? What do we know in our humanness about the creator? And how do we know this stuff? Through studying studying or examining the scriptures. And based on what a group of people think about God, right, that is necessary for the church or for their teachings, and that reflects how people believe or how they shape their world. And so theology helps the church to keep going. Theology is what the church believes to be true. And you're going to get this whole PowerPoint. This will be posted so you can go through it. And I have a little video in it where I'm talking to you, so you'll hear me talking. But I want you to understand today what this course is about. So different people will have different views of God, right? So some people, let me actually scoot down. Some people may think about God one way. So I want you to just stop. everybody just stop and reflect for a minute. And so remember, you don't have to be a minister or anything. You don't have to be a Christian, taking this course. But if whether you are or you are not, I just want you to just stop and think for a minute. Okay, I just want everybody to just stop and think. So, what have you thought about God and Christianity? Just a personal question. How do you see God? How do you see God? How do you view a creator or whatever? Whether you totally understand or not. So this is a personal reflection. You don't have to share with anybody. So for example, some people may see or think of God as like a big punisher that, beats people up. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna be in trouble. God's gonna get me or something. Or somebody may see God as a liberator to assist with things, assist with daily life. That's what I mean by your theology. That's what I mean by how do you view it or how do you see it? Okay. That's what we mean by theology. So over time, you are going to see that people are going to have different types of theology. People are going to see God differently. So as we kind of take a pause today, I want you to continue your reading in chapter 1, making sure that you understand and have a better understanding of theology. Remember, theos means God, ology means study. And before we leave out today, why do you think theology is important in this day and time for an institution like the church? Why should people even care? Because this is a type of subject, this is a class that many people would shy away from. Ugh, why do we want to think about that? Anybody want to jump in?
All right, so you said, why people should be worried about, studying God, right?
Yes. Yeah. Do you think, was that Brian?
He's buried.
Okay. Why do you think theology would be important to these days? Why do you think it would be important to an institution like the church, or why should people even care about studying it?
Well, as for me, the more we learn about God, probably the better our lives will be.
Mm-hmm.
And it will just not only help us, but help others. As we can see in the world's gone crazy because to me, they just doing their own thing and they don't even fear God or know anything about God or how to apply the scriptures to their lives. So studying theology would help us to just be a better person holistically.
Awesome. Thank you, Opal. Talked about the current state of the world, and understanding how things are going on these days. It could assist. Good. Anybody else want to jump in? Okay. No right or wrong answer.
I think God's he's exposing a lot of things to people. He's exposing a lot of people, and he's exposing a lot of ways, and he's showing everybody, that he's still in charge. He's still in charge. And he's doing some things, and I think in the end it's going to make us all as human beings, get together and understand that hey, we're of him, and I think it's going to be a better world, as things come out in the wash, because it's all gotten out of hand, but as human beings, we can, if we spiritually, if we stretch our arms to him, understand, he'll help the situation out. Okay.
Good. Thanks, Lester. That's good.
Okay, thank you.
So hopefully as you all go through this course, right? And remember y'all, whether you are a Christian or you're not a Christian, it doesn't matter. We're not worried about that. It's just understanding, right? Because even if you practice a different religion or you don't practice Christianity, this is the thing. When we study theology, I think Ramona said this earlier, a lot of laws and the way that things are carried out in our community are based on some type of theology or based on some type of thinking about God. That makes sense? So even let me go back to, let's say, like I think like at courthouses and things, like they would have these issues with, oh, you got the 10 Commandments up, right? Okay, so that was based on some type of theology that a group held to say, okay, scriptures are important or something like that, or we are to follow certain things. Somebody was jumping in. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so I want you to understand as we come to an end here, and I'm going to post this for you all. When we think of theology, remember those words. It is how we think about God. And remember, everybody's going to have, and I'm just talking about people, not necessarily churches, a different view of God. So somebody could see, remember I said earlier, oh, the creator's gonna come and get me, come and beat me up or something. And some people just see God as just this big punisher. Or others may see, remember when we start talking about liberation theology, as God is with those people who are struggling and having a hard time and trying to pay the bills. Hello, trying to get through school, and God is still with those people as well. That's another type of theology that we're going to get into. I'm excited about this course. Like I said, I'm gonna warn you, the reading might be a little bit like, huh? So you're gonna have to read and take notes. Like if you see my book, I got all kind of highlighted stuff. There are gonna be some vocabulary words that I'll pull out in your PowerPoints, because some of those words you may not have seen before and you're like, what is this? You go ahead to keep a dictionary and make sure you look up the words so that you understand. Okay, so this week make sure you do your reading for chapter 1. I think it's pages 1 through 5 and 16 through 20, I believe. And I'm going to post this PowerPoint that I just showed you. I'm going to post this in week 1. Once again, to my students who have not done the introduction form for week 1, go to week 1, y'all. I need you to do that like yesterday so we don't get in trouble, okay? All right. Any questions for me? All right. So if you're...
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, go ahead.
The questions on the end, you said it was got on page 20, it's saying questions for discussion. That's, so I don't know, I'm not clear on how you want that handled. I mean,
No. You don't do those questions for discussion.
Okay.
Just the reading.
I'm sorry.
No, you don't do the questions for discussion, just the reading that I have for you.
Okay, all right.
Yes. Good question. For each week, well, most of your weeks, you'll have a discussion question. Let me show y'all this real quick before we go. But I pick out the discussion question. Okay. And that'll be, so let's see, week 1, see, your discussion is your introduction. Okay. Week 2, your discussion is right here. It's going to be on authority. And I'm going to click on this real quick. So for example, in week 2, next week, your question is, how would you decide whether or not a particular theological assertion is true? Okay. Then make sure to respond, 100 words, or more is fine. Follow the MLA format, and I also gave you some information for MLA format down here, okay?
Okay.
Oh, let me say this too, for those students that are new. Let's say this is let's say you come to this page and you're ready to answer this question. See right here where it says start a new thread? So I'm gonna act like I'm the student. I'm gonna give it a title, right? I'm gonna just say authority. And I put my answer right there, blah, 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 okay? And I'm gonna hit post. And there's my post. So I'm gonna take that off because, it wasn't nothing, but. Okay. You guys all right?
Okay. So that's the way all the responses sent in?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. Good question.
Even the 200 word, the 2 pages, you want?
Okay.
Like,
okay, so let's say for an assignment, Lester,
yeah.
let's see, like your video assignment. Okay, so I'm gonna go right here. Y'all forgive me if you hear this knocking. I got people working on my house. So for the group, if you guys, okay, let's say you watched your video right here and you're ready to do your paper. Okay, so you have your 2-page paper. Now you're going to type up your paper, in Word or whatever you have. And then when you're ready to attach your paper, I'm going to go right here to add attachments. And I'm going to add my attachment. Now I'm going to just pick anything, y'all, because it's just junk I got on here. And I'm going to, y'all see I got a lot of junk on here. And I'm going to attach something. Okay. And I put my paper right here. Okay. And I'm gonna hit update. So you see, okay, so I'm acting like I was a student and I hit add attachment. I'm gonna go and get my paper from my computer. Okay, I'm gonna upload it and I'm gonna get it from wherever I saved it. Okay, and I'll attach it to this assignment. You guys okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, just let me know if you have any questions as you get to that assignment. So, when you get to it in a couple of weeks, if you still have an issue, Lester, just let me know.
Okay, I will.
Okay. All right. Okay, some folks came in a little late, and let me make sure I got you. I've got Jaquan. I've got Lester. Okay. Ramona. And Brian. Okay, super. Thank you, everybody. We're just missing one student. This was great. All right, so I will see you all if you're able next Thursday, same time, same link. And of course, if you're working or something, you are responsible for watching the class video. Okay, you got to make sure you're doing that each week to catch up.
Dr. Berry, this is Ramona. Do you want us to notify you when we know we cannot attend class?
You can just send me a little message or something.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
You are more than welcome. Okay. All right. I pray everybody has a good one.
Okay, thank you very much.
Same to you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay. Take care.
Bye.
And
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Irene, we're praying for you.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Take care, Ruben, Caitlin, Lester, Brian, and Opal. Y'all take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.